Chalo, let's start. You are able to see my screen. So let's do a practical of the theory what we did yesterday. Let's do the practical of the theory we did yesterday. Okay. So if I made a struct yesterday by the name student, right? And how many things did I put into that? Roll number, character, name of 10, and float percentage. Okay. And then I went and made a local object first, correct? So I went into void main, and in void main I made the object. So the object was made in void main. So how to make an object? Struct student followed by the object name. So I make one object by the name S1. So now you should know that this is the mold. So what is there in the mold? What is there in the mold? This all is there in the mold, correct? So now when I make a object of this mold, so what all will be there in the object? What all will be there in the object? The same content of which is there in the mold, right? So it is just a copy of this. So this is my object. Okay, so object will be like a variable. It will have a name. What is the name of this object? S1, and will have a address. What is the address of this S1? Assuming, and how many story it is, how many floors is this object? This structure is of how many floors? So if the architect, when he had made the blueprint, the building he designed was of 3 floors. How many floors? Right? So this blue will also be of how many floors? 3 floors. Top floor is roll number. Okay. Middle floor is name, and let's say ground floor or first floor is. Okay. Now I want to enter over here 101. What is the value I want to enter for this 101? For the name I want to enter Alice. Okay. And for the percentage I want to enter 78.5. What I want to enter? So I will tell the user now. Oh yeah. Printf, please enter what? Roll number, name, and percentage for student 1. First student, okay? So what will he enter? He will enter 101 Alice and 78.5. I will scan that. So where will 101 go? 101 is of what type? And Alice is of what type? And 70 is of what type? Float. And I will store 101 where? Where? I will store 101 where? S1 is of 3 floors, right? So which floor of S1? Number. So I will say and S1 dot roll number. Where will I store the name? No need to give and for string. So only S1 dot name. And where will I store flow 17.5 dot person. Okay, like this we have got the data. And if I want to display this data, then printf. If I want to display roll number of student 1 is percentage D. So what will I display? S1 dot roll number, right? S1, what part of S1? Roll number. And if I want to display name of student 1 is Alice, how will I display that? On a new line. So will I display that? Tell me now. Yes. Tell me. Name. Student 1 is percentage. S1 dot name. And %f. So I will accept and I will display, right? Simple. So let's write this program and check whether it is working. I'll have to do the work double, not a problem as long as we understand the code, not a problem of doing double times. So tell me, what header file to include? Which one? stdio.h. Okay. Now let's make the structure. Which keyword will we write? Struct. And what name you want to give to the structure? Student. Okay. First, top floor to roll number, middle floor to name, the name of size 10 and float percentage. Okay, then structure closes and void main. So void main. Then first make an object of this structure. So how will you make the object of the structure? Write the structure name and then write over there S1. Can I make 2-3 objects? Yes. So okay, so try to make them on separate line. You can make on one line also, but I'm not a big fan of making them on one line. I'm not a big fan of writing this. Okay, when it comes to structure, I better write it on separate lines. So S2 and S3. So when I write this, what picture should you paint in your mind? That now I have got 3 structures, right? Like how I have S1. Similarly, I also have S2 and S3, and they will be on which address? S2 will be on address 2000 and S3 will be on address 3000. Okay, so this picture should run in your mind. Okay, this image should be in your mind, that what is happening in the memory. So that programmer who has the memory map in his mind, in my dictionary I call him a programmer, and who does not know what is happening in memory, you're just writing the program, I will call him a typist. So this is S2 and this is S3. Making sense? Okay, and what data till now is not there, right? So data will be garbage. What will be the data be in this now? Garbage data is there. No data is there. Okay, data is not there in S1 also till now. Till now data is not there even in S1 because I have not done the printf scanf, correct? So I will come here and I will sell for the first student. So what will I say? Printf what? Enter roll number, name and percentage of student 1. So you will enter for the first student. So how will you do that? Scanf, roll number is, name is, percentage is, and the, so if he enters 101 Alice and 78.5, where will that go? Will go where? Here, right? So whose roll number? So S1 dot, which is the operator we will use? Dot operator. So we will say S1 and we are scanning, right? So S1 dot roll number, and for string they don't need to give and. So only S1 dot, and for percentage S1 dot percent. Understood this? So I have accepted this. Now if I want to print it, then if I want to display details of student 1, okay, I give a hyphen and I do percentage D space percentage S space percentage F. So what I want to display at percentage D? Whose roll number? So S1 dot roll number, and at percentage S, S1 dot name, and whose? S1 dot person. So, and I want to display on a new line, so I will say /n. I will close this. So far so good. Let's copy this and try to run it and just see the output. I'm pasting this code over here. Okay, let's try to run this code and see what happens. Okay, so let's run this code and check. So okay, it's coming up. perfect. 101 space Alice space. You can enter space, or you can enter whatever suits you. What have I given? 101 Alice and 7815, and I hit enter. It says detail of student 1. 101 space Alice. Understood?
Sir, hyphen नहीं डाल सकते.
Hyphen? हाँ?
101 के पास स्लैश नहीं डाल सकते. hyphen नहीं डाल सकते.
मतलब 101 स्लैश एलिस स्लैश ऐसा. हाँ डाल सकते, कुछ डालना है डालो. ठीक है, वो आप यहाँ खेलते बैठो, जो आपको खेलते बैठना है. ठीक है, चलो. Now for the second student I want to enter. What will I do then? I want to accept and display both. So what will I say for the student number 2? So that will go in where? S2 and S2. I will say display student details of 2. How much? S2 and S2. Okay. So here I will enter what? 102 Ben and 88.5. Okay. Enter what? And run. So first student 101 space Alice space 78.5. Second, okay, displayed. Now second 102 space Ben space 88.5 and displayed both. Okay, so if I want to accept twice and display twice, I could have done like this, taken the displays at the end for both, except for 1, except for 2. Okay, display for 1 and display for 2. Making sense? So I want to display 1 first, right? Is this making sense to you all? Accept 1, accept 2, display 1, display 2. Okay, when I make 3, what will be in 3 then? Now what is in 3? Nothing, right? So let's try to see what it displays by garbage. Let's try to check what is there in a structure. What does C put in a structure by default? Let's say, maybe it might be putting zeros, I guess. It might be putting what? Zeros and garbage values, or name might be some garbage name. Okay, let's try to run this code and check. So you will get the idea what it is putting by default. So 101 space Alice space 78.5, 102 Ben space 88.5, and it is now displaying. So it is putting what? Zero. Name it is putting as blank. Name is putting as and float as 0.0. So this is what the garbage value C puts. So now what is there in this? By default, what is there? Garbage value. What is the garbage value for roll number? Integer will be 0 and this will be empty. Very good. And this will be 0.0. Making sense? Okay. Now if I want to store details of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 students, what to do? Right? Make 15 S1, S2, S3, S4, S5. Make 15 objects. Will I make 15 objects like this? S1, S3, S4. Make 15. Is this user-friendly code? What do you want me to make? 15 like this. And when I get 100 students, should I make 100? So we have alternate called as. Okay. Now this was one first thing. Second thing is now, where is this S1 declared in which function? Main function. If I try to access this, okay, where are this S1, S2, S3 declared? In which function? Main, right? So if I make a new function by the name void display, okay, and in this display function, I plan to display the details of S1. Will it allow me to display? Yes, no, maybe. Why no? Because of the scope of the variable. Scope of the variable is within the parentheses in which it is declared. So where is S1 declared in? Main. So the life of S1 is only within main, from 11 to 25. After 25, no one knows it. So as the body of display is after main, write the prototype above main. Write the prototype and try to run this code and check. Let's see, it will throw an error, and the error will be at line number 30. Okay, see line number 30, you see. And what is the error? Undeclared. We don't know about it. We don't know what is S1. So if I want to use this across multiple functions, then make it global. So how do I make it global? When you make the structure, here only make S1 global. Now S1 is global. No need to give S1 over here now. S1 is already declared, right? No need to declare over here. Now it can be used in, it can be used in main also and can be used in display. But are we calling display? So let's say we will call display over here. Function has to be called, right, to execute. So now when I run this code will run perfectly fine. So 101 Alice 78.5 102 then 88.5. Now how many times will it display me the value of Alice? So it will display 1 over here, 2 over here, and the zeros over here, and then I'm again calling display. It will also display me over here also. Got it? Now am I able to access that function across access that object across multiple functions? Why? Because I have made a global object. So if the object is made global, it can be accessed across multiple functions. Is that understood? Okay. This was the second thing which we did yesterday, right? Okay. Now, if I want to store details of 5 students, what do I do? S1, S2, S3, S4, S5. Then if I want to make of 100 students, then S1, S2, S3, S4, S100. Then what do we do? We make a array. We make a what? Array. So array, whatever data is at the 0 index, the same type of data is there across all the index. So I want to make array of what? Struct stud. Array of. So if at 0 index, what will be there? 0 index, what will be there? 0 index, what will be there? 1 student will be there. What will be there? 1 student. So what will be there at 1 index then? Because an array, whatever type of data is there at the 0 index, same type of data should be at all the indexes. So at 0 index, what is there? What is there at 0 index? Struct student. So what will be there at 1 index? Struct student. So how we had 3 different objects. Now we will have one array, and in that one array I can store multiple objects of students. So if I want to make 5 students, then what will I make? Array of size. Array of size what? Array of size 5, right? So this is my index 1, 0, index. Okay, let's make array of size 4 for example's sake. Now how many students array I have made? 4. Now what are the index for this 4 array? 0, 1, 2 and 3, right? So now if I want to ask for data of the 0 index, what will I do? Now this loop will run from where to where? 0 to 4. So where is my I pointing to now? 0. So now instead of writing this individually for first student, second student, third student, what I will do is I will make a array by the name of what? What is group of student called? Batch. What is group of student called? Batch of size 4. Batch of size. So this array name is. So this is which index? Batch of 0. Yes or no? This is which index? Batch of 0. And this is batch of 1. This is batch of 2. And this is, you are understanding, right, what I am trying to say? Yes or no? So my loop will run from where to where? I will have 0 will go to less than 4. So let's write that loop. So let's take a I loop for I for the loop. So for I equals to 0, I less than 4 and I plus plus. So what to do? Now I want to ask, enter roll number, name of student 1. So I will say what? Student percentage D, and 1 will come from where? What is the value of I? What is the value of I? 0. So how will I make 0, 1? I will say I plus 1. What will I say? So what will substitute at this percentage D? Value of I plus, what is the value of I in the first iteration? So 0 plus 1 is So what will be displayed? Enter roll number, name of percentage of student 1. You enter 101, Alice 78.5. Where will that be stored at? Which index? Batch of 0. So you will scan it where? Add, and who has 0? Who has 0? So you will say and batch of I, and that I means this whole, right?
Yes.
From there where? Batch of I dot roll number, right? This entire is batch of I, correct?
Yes.
So will you store the roll number in the entire whole thing? So will you store the roll number, let's say 101. Let me increase the size of this. Okay, so I make it 72. So will you store the roll number in the entire array as roll number only? Then where will you store 101? In the batch of 0 at which place? Batch of 0 but at roll number part, right? So you will say I will store over here. You will say I will store where? I will store where? I will store over here. Batch of I dot roll number. So when you enter Alice, where will you store Alice? At batch of I dot name, right? So you will say batch of I dot here. Batch of I means 0 index, and batch of I dot person. So this will accept all the values, and when you want to display all the values, just put the same for loop. Because in for loop, in array we do a fresh for loop for every activity, right? So no need to display for individual. Okay? No need. Okay. So we already do it for once, right? So remove all this display. So only printf. What will I say? Printf roll detail of R. What is this percentage? One will not be 1, right? Will be percentage D. So value of that will be again comma I plus 1, and will be what? Batch of I, right? So this you have to practice. Batch of I dot roll number, batch of I dot name. Making sense to you all, right? So now irrespective I have how many students, I just have to increase the size of the array. That's all. No need for this display function as of now. Close the main. Okay. Yeah. 1 second. I'll just check once. Line number. Okay. Batch spelling. Okay. Okay. And this is batch, and again for slash n I plus 1, batch of I, and batch of I. Okay, making sense? Now directly in one click I can enter all the 5. So batch student 101, Alice 78.5, 102, Ben 88.5, 103, Charles 98.5, okay, 89.5, and 104 Dom 98.5. Accepted 4 and displayed 4 at once. So is this making sense to you all?
Yes.
Array of objects. So now if I want to have 100 students, what will I do? Just change this to 100 and just change this to 100. That's all you have to do, and this loop will do the rest for you, right? Okay. So now everywhere what are we writing? Struct, stored, right? This is looking so big. So I want to name it as stud. Name it what? Give a shortcut for this. So what is the name of the structure? Struct student, right? So whenever I have to declare, I have to give what? Struct student. So I want to give a shortcut for this. So once the structure is made, take the old name. What is the old name? Struct stud. After the semicolon, give after the, and give a shortcut. What name you want to give to it now? Stud. Okay, so now no need to use struct stud. Now you can only use stud. This is called as type def. Yes, you can use what? Type def. Only stud is sufficient. Making sense? So you can use a shortcut. So I will just now run it for 2 students. Okay, I don't have that much time to run for 100 students. sense? So let's run it. So the program will, what happened? Line number 14. Oh my, I forgot to add the, which keyword? Type def keyword. Okay, making sense? Added, and now program will run as expected. 101 Alice 78.5, 102 Ben 88.5, accepted and displayed. This was type def. Got it? So this was the practical of yesterday. All good? So I want you all to practice till here.